welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's still Thursday, February 9th, 2023. We're about 35 minutes from the closing bell of the NBA trade deadline. And what a day it's been. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Kevin Durant wearing 35 minutes away. What does it mean?
What does it mean, man? Next to Tassie is the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o! How'd that pub go down, that pub sub?
Oh, it was delicious.
Yeah?
It was delicious. Not 100% what I ordered, but close enough.
That's Publix for you.
That's Atlanta, baby.
That's right. Good enough. Good enough.
How many second-round picks did you get on your sub? Did you go 3, 4, 5?
A lot of second-round picks. Wasn't getting his first pick, that's for sure.
That's actually true. My first pick was a 5-grain bread. Didn't have it. Had a second round. What am I talking about? Who does, man? I ate white bread, okay? Let's talk about some trades.
We got all of our producers in here. We got JD, we got JK, we got JC. All of the J's producing this show. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Take a second, like the vid. Please subscribe if you haven't done that. If you want to hear us talk about the Kevin Durant to the Suns trade, we did that early this morning, and last night we did the whole Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, Mike Conley trade, if you want to hear us talk about that one. But we have a bunch of stupid trades to talk about here. Nothing there ain't no blockbuster
sexy?
In the mix yet, I'll tell you that.
No, not blockbuster. We have 11 to 12 trades, depending if we get to number 12.
Okay.
Yeah, some I'd categorize as not the smartest. Some semi-smart.
Some smart.
Marcus hasn't been traded.
We'll find out right now. Okay, let's begin with a 3-team deal that saw Jae Crowder go to the Milwaukee Bucks. Remember him? He used to play for the Suns, and he didn't at all this season. But he finds his way to Milwaukee, so that's a nice pickup for them. The Pacers are getting Jordan Nwora, Serge Ibaka, and 2 second-round picks. They also get George Hill from the Bucks in a separate deal. Well, at least we believe it's a separate deal. I was losing my mind here in the factory trying to figure out, was he in this one or not? Anyways, he's going to Indiana, and the Nets get 5 second-round picks. It was a big day for second-round picks.
Fistful of second-rounders for the Nets.
Here you go. But
I don't want us to go down the second-round picks lane, but how did the Nets get 5 second-round picks in this deal?
That is interesting. What did they do? Trade 2 second-rounders and got 5 back?
Yeah, worse ones?
Respect.
Who knows?
I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of stuff could be wrong in this podcast. Okay?
I don't think so.
There's way too much going on.
We've got as many people in here as there are second-round picks in this trade. We're all working on it. We're all going to make it happen. Let's get to the P.J. Tucker part of the trade because... I said
What
P.J.
the
Tucker.
hell?
I said Jae Crowder. Jae Crowder is their P.J. Tucker.
Yeah.
In 2021, before the Bucks won the championship, they made a deal at the deadline with the Rockets for P.J. Tucker. This is their P.J. Tucker move to get Jae Crowder here. And if you remember, P.J. Tucker wasn't playing then. He was also injured. He ended up being a big part of the championship. So they're trying to replicate that. Mm-hmm. Your 4 guys are going to be on the floor, Giannis, Middleton, Drew, and Brook. Who is the 5th? I tend to think it's Joe Ingles, who is a good playmaker, but Jae Crowder could easily be that guy. So that's what they're trying to replicate. It's a carbon copy. It's a CC. Swipe. This is who they think they're getting in Jae Crowder. Will he be healthy enough? I bring up that P.J. Tucker was injured at the time because Jae Crowder isn't playing, but it is different. P.J. Tucker was playing until he got injured, and Crowder, as you said, hasn't played a second this year.
Has he stayed in shape, or is he eating pub subs all day long?
I bet he likes a pub sub. I don't know. He's from the Midwest. This is all right, though, for the Bucks. You know, Bobby Portis has been out since the end of January. They need somebody to take his spot as well. I'm with you. It'll kind of be offense-defense, I do believe, with Ingles and Jae Crowder. Depending on the opponent they're facing, they're going to need something different. Here and there, they gave up Jordan Nwora. They gave up Serge Ibaka, a couple of players who are outside of the rotation for the Bucks. George Hill, depending on which part of the deal he's in, also wasn't a big part of the Bucks going forward. It felt like Jae Crowder was going to be a Buck for this entire season. Apparently, today was the day it finally happened. They waited as long as they could to see what kind of a deal they'd be able to get on him, and Crowder's going to be a helpful player, more so on a team like the Bucks than a middle-of-the-road team, right? He wants to play for a championship.
Yeah.
He only needs to play 15 to 20 important minutes a night. I think this is nice for Milwaukee to finally get it done.
And I know Serge Ibaka is sort of low on the the minutes played category of these guys here. I mean, he just hasn't been a factor for a while. I'll put it that way. He also wanted to play for a championship team. Will he be removed again?
It's
the
way
possible.
today's going, yes.
It's possible.
It'll take 8 second-round picks, but it will get done.
Yeah, he's with the Pacers here. But that being said, the Celtics made their move for a backup big that we'll get to. The Nuggets made their move for a backup big that we'll get to. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens to Serge. He might be a buyout, pick him up later type of grab for somebody in a championship window.
But overall, you guys are loving this move by Milwaukee to try and get that fifth starter, as you said, or at least a guy that they can, in theory, trust in potential playoff series moving forward. Can hit a shot, give you some defense. And, he's been there, done that a little bit. Thumbs up.
I mean, Crowder, maybe he's a spot starter, but he's probably like 7th to 8th man, which I think is going to be perfectly fine for the Bucks. And it gives them, like I said, like a little Bobby Portis spell here while he's out. Portis is a hugely important member of the Bucks, and I think he will be ahead of Crowder once it comes down to it. But you still don't know what you're going to get from Bobby Portis coming back from a sprained MCL.
All right, let's keep it going here. We'll go to another 3-team deal, which we at first thought was maybe just a 2-team deal, but no, it's 3. The Pistons getting James Wiseman. Yes, the number 2 pick of the draft a couple years ago, going to Detroit. The Hawks receiving Saddiq Bey, and the Warriors, in giving up Wiseman, getting 5 second-round picks.
The Warriors can't be done here. I know it's a...
Well, they're not. As I'm seeing here from Woj, the Pistons are sending Kevin Knox to the Warriors as part of this deal.
There you go. Okay, player.
Well, so this could just be a cost-saving move from the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
It is.
But do they have something else in the works? Now, you could just say it's a cost-saving move going forward next year. Maybe they want to bring back Draymond Green, and this is a way to get around that, to save money on the James Wiseman. It's not just his salary, but it's the luxury tax payment times X, the repeater tax times X. So that's the big move. The Hawks sweeping in here and getting Saddiq Bey. It's a sneaky little move.
You like
gotta
it? Yeah.
like that.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think Bey is the best get here. I think he'll probably play for the Hawks. They needed a little bit of size. I think Bey is a streaky shooter, but that's okay if you're, the 5th option on a team. It'll be interesting to see him playing for a more competitive team than the Pistons, because it's just kind of hard to figure out what kind of player he was going to be. Obviously had that big 50-point game. Probably ain't going to be happening in Atlanta with all the shooters around there, but I think it's a nice get for the Hawks. As for the Pistons, they're trying to redraft, basically, right? Like they did the same with Marvin Bagley. They did the same with Kevin Knox, if we're being honest, and now they're trying it with James Wiseman. Of course, they also did really draft a center in 2022, Jalen Duren.
Yep.
And they are going to be trying to draft a center this draft in Victor Wembanyama, assuming they get the number 1 pick. So I don't know exactly how well it's going to work out for Wiseman in Detroit, but there ain't a lot of pressure there, so it's probably the best place he could hope to be.
Yeah, I did see some Pistons fans online freaking out a little bit, what? We got Jalen Duren, we do have still Isaiah Stewart. What? Wiseman's gonna come in here and take minutes? He's not coming in to take a whole lot of minutes. He'll get a chance because they're a bad team right now. But I believe they're really confident moving forward to Duren, and like you said, if they hit the lottery and you have a chance to draft the alien, they're gonna do that. But that's fine. He'll get a go, and he's not very good, is the truth. I mean, I know he was the number 2 pick. Maybe unlock something in Detroit. There was a lot of pressure, of course, in Golden State. You're playing for a championship team. They sort of thought right away they could be like, no, we'll just slot you in. You play with all these Hall of Famers and just do your part and we'll be good. But that's a lot to ask maybe for this guy, and we'll see if he has anything here.
Yeah,
he's still young, of course.
Yeah, last year they did the same thing with Marvin Bagley, another number 2 pick. They
Pistons,
go and get him. The problem was in the offseason they signed him to a 3-year juicy deal. 3-year 37.5.
The bag man, yeah.
The bag man. So that's the issue there, is that he's being overpaid, frankly, for his production. James Wiseman, I don't see the problem in taking a flyer. I know Trey likes to make fun of me because I like to say guys getting their second opportunity, and Bagley at the same point last year, sure, take a flyer on him, but you don't have to sign him to a long-term deal.
Right.
So that's a situation. They've got Jalen Durant, they've got Isaiah Stewart as well in their front court. So you can't get in the way of them. That's the issue.
And there are some rumors going around right now, to go back to the Warriors here, just getting a whole bunch of second-round picks and I guess Kevin Knox in this 3-team deal, that they are possibly trying to put together a package for OG Anunoby.
There's something
from the
juicy there,
Raptors.
isn't there?
So you think there's something happening here. So who does that involve? That's, Kuminga and Moody, I would assume, right? They do have some draft capital. Is that enough to entice Masai and Bobby here in the final 20 minutes or so? Who's got the best package? Masai's just picking up phones left and right. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, okay. He's gonna have like 100 second-round picks.
Hey, you want
by the
5
end of this
second-rounders? We'll throw in an extra one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you think there's there's something maybe to it? You love the idea, I guess it sounds like, of the Warriors being very aggressive to get someone.
Well,
like
it just
OJ.
feels like this is the first step into doing something else, not just a cost-saving move. Feels, I guess there is that possibility that they're just looking for next season and what they'll be paying guys. But Sham says that there is interest from the Golden State Warriors. So I'm buying it here. 23 minutes on the clock. Nothing reported quite yet, but I'm waiting.
Okay. Let's move on then to the Clippers, who made a couple deals here today. First, the Nuggets Clips. Bones Hyland. He's out of the doghouse in Denver, out of those DNPs, and he is going to LA in exchange for 2 second-round picks. I'm a little shocked by this one. That Bones just going for 2 second-rounders, and then we might as well just go to the next one here. JD and JK, we had a 3-way deal, Rockets, Clippers, Grizzlies. No, not that one. Get that one off the screen. With Eric Gordon going to the Clips, the Rockets receiving John Wall and Danny Green, and the Grizzlies getting Luke Kennard. So let's start with the Clips. They got Bones Hyland and Eric Gordon here with Luke Kennard and John Wall going out. What do you think, TK?
I'm interested. I'll say that. I'm interested in what the Clippers got back. Eric Gordon, good to see him finally get traded after years and years in the rumor machine. Obviously, he was a Clipper once upon a time. That is a theme for today. Players going back to their original teams. And Bones, I think, is interesting. He's still not the ideal point guard that I'm envisioning for this Clippers team. He's such a high variance guy, but at least he's young, which is different than Reggie Jackson, different than John Wall, different than Eric Gordon as well. Gives them a little bit of youth, a little bit of volatility. Likely coming off the bench, I would have to imagine. They're not going to want to chucker necessarily alongside Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. But considering they gave up 2 second-round picks to get Bones, I think that's a nice grab for the Clippers. That being said, I don't really understand why they moved on from Luke Kennard. I know he's not a great defender, but he knocks down threes, and that's a big thing with the Clippers is hitting threes. So I guess Gordon is their replacement in that regard, and Bones is a nice roll of the dice, to be quite honest, going forward for LA.
Yeah, there seems to be a little duplication there with the Clippers bench. Bones, Gordon, and Norm Powell, just kind of similar guys who aren't point guards, but can create for themselves. So I think there's that issue. Second issue is I assume Terrence Mann will still man the point there, pun intended, with Kawhi and Paul George in the starting spot. But yeah, there's not a guy who gets to the rim, and just the fact that Bones, as you said, a little surprising, drafted 26th 2 years ago. This is his second season. All right, let's just go to it.
We got all set.
There it is. There it is.
Clippers are sending Reggie Jackson to Charlotte for Mason Plumlee. Coming back to the Clippers.
Wow, okay.
The Bones and the Plums together.
Wow. I mean, those were their needs, guard
Backup
play and a
center.
backup center, and they got the Plum Dog, and you can debate whether Bones is that type of guard you want, but they got him, and Eric Gordon, of course, still as a vet shooter. Okay.
So I guess they're not getting Russell Westbrook. Doesn't sound like it. They've got enough guards now.
sound like it, yep.
But yes, they fortified their bench. They're going for that. They're going for it. They're getting older. Yeah, Bones is different in that he's younger. But as you said, 2 second-round picks for Bones from the Denver Nuggets, who have a pretty thin bench. That's the surprising part. The Denver Nuggets are number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They needed to get a deeper bench. We'll get to that Thomas Bryant move that they made for a center, but their guard rotation, very thin.
It is indeed. What about Luke Kennard with the Grizzlies? Just to touch on this briefly here. Obviously, he led the league in three-point shooting last year. 44.9%. He's basically the same this year on a lot less three-point attempts. He plays less minutes, obviously, with their stars playing more. But you like this?
This is smart. This is smart. Yeah, he was kind of banished by Ty Lue in the Clippers rotation. He has received minutes, over the last couple of years with them, but lately. Yeah, he's been banished. Yeah, he's still an incredible shooter. He's basically the same percentage as last year. So, yeah, they needed one. And the Danny Green, moving off Danny Green, I guess he wasn't old Danny Green. They've only had a few short games to see what he could do after his return from injury. But Luke seems to fit the bill pretty well.
Needed some three-point shooting.
Yeah, I like this.
The Grizzlies definitely did. I think... they're a good enough defensive team that they can take on Luke Kennard, much like the Clippers, where they could afford to run Luke Kennard out there when the other 4 players are solid defenders. So just getting another shooter on the court, a younger guy than Danny Green as well, and I would say probably more reliable at this point in their career. At least you know what you're getting from Luke Kennard, where it was a little bit of a gamble with Danny to see where he was going to recover to. This is nice for the Grizzlies to be able to give back a guy that they had for like 3 games in Danny Green, send him out, get back one of the better three-point shooters in the league.
Clippers. That's an interesting team with the plum dog there.
Clippers, man. Clippers just... They went into today having a ton of players on their team, and now they still have a ton of players on their team. And it all comes down to our Paul George and Kawhi Leonard healthy. That's really all that matters. We're just moving all the guys around alongside them.
I sort of just shuddered thinking that Reggie Jackson and Terry Rozier are on the same team in Charlotte, unless some other things happen here in the final minutes. I don't know if you guys have that board still. I know the boards are flying fast and furious, but we can go to that Nuggets-Lakers trade, or we can at least talk about it, because you did say Denver... They did take or did sort of check one need that they needed here at the deadline, and that was a backup big. I mean, you can't play Jokic all 48 minutes. They've been a little thin there. They get Thomas Bryant here from the Lakers, Reed going to LA, and 3 second-round picks. You like this move from Denver?
I do like this move. Thomas Bryant did some good things with the Lakers this season. So a little insurance doesn't hurt nobody. The Thomas Bryant experiment, it's long gone. They got Jared Vanderbilt yesterday. I'm high on Jared Vanderbilt. He's going to help out. And we'll get to another move that they made, which that part confuses me. That's why I stalled a little, because the Lakers got another center in Mo Bamba.
That's true. It's true.
They got a lot of bigs all of a sudden. But I think Jared Vanderbilt will play a ton. So Thomas Bryant's minutes were somewhat expendable. And the joke is that he was trying to... he was calling for the ball when LeBron went for the record. And you can't do that.
The King shipped him out a couple days later. Any thoughts on Thomas Bryant to Denver?
Great get. I think for Denver, it was either Jeff Green as their backup center, Zeke Naji as their backup center, or DeAndre Jordan as their backup center. So the fact that Thomas Bryant requested a trade from the Lakers, A, very funny, B, because of minutes, and then he gets traded to play behind the best center in the game, who is usually healthy, also very funny. But even if it's only for 10, 15 minutes a game, Thomas Bryant can give up a whole bunch of points but then score them right back. Right. So I think he will be a valuable player for the regular season in the Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go the DeMarcus Cousins route and brought somebody back who's a little bit younger and looking all right out there, but the minutes will be limited. You're backing up Jokic here.
For sure.
And they're not playing those dudes together.
All right, well, let's take our first break. When we come back, we got a whole lot of other minor deals that happened today, and who knows what's going to happen in the next 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere.
Last week, I saw date night show up on my family calendar.
Okay.
Intriguing. What's going on with this date night, I asked. My wife replied, "Ooh, you like that, boy? You're going to need to get fancy." Turns out we got tickets for jazz night at the High Museum. So yeah, I need to get fancy. Indochino fancy. With their huge variety of customizable details and fabrics, Indochino can help you create anything from made-to-measure blazers and suits to a custom portrait-worthy tuxedo, all with no tailor necessary. Should I show up in a tuxedo?
Yeah.
Jazz night?
Yeah, you fancy
Show up
boy.
to our live show in a tuxedo.
It's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool look. Indochino, they give you everything you need to create a custom suit that's right for you. Shop online by setting up your measurement profile and choosing the fabric and customizations you want. If you prefer an in-person experience, you can book an appointment at an Indochino showroom and work with an expert style guide to take your measurements and walk you through your customization options. Then just sit back while your suit is made for you and delivered straight to your door. Suits start at just $499, and premium fitted shirts start at $89. You can fine-tune every detail. Lapels, linings, monograms, and more. If you've got your own jazz night, you can start planning your custom look with Indochino. Go to Indochino.com and use code NODUNKS to get 10% off any purchase of $399 or more. That's INDOCHINO.com, promo code NODUNKS.
All right, we're about 13 minutes or so from the trade deadline buzzer at 3 p.m. Eastern, though trades, of course, always trickle in after that. We did just learn that John Collins ain't going anywhere, though. Hawks are keeping him.
Maybe that's posturing.
You think so?
Yeah. Give us more.
Okay. We know Damian Lillard's not going anywhere.
Nah.
You know, teams were calling, hey, what's going on, Portland? Any chance we could get Lillard? Unequivocally, no. Get out of here. He loves us and we love him.
Unequivocally.
Bye. But the Blazers did make a move here earlier today. It's a 3-team trade. They get Matisse Thybulle from the Sixers. Philadelphia gets Jalen McDaniels. Okay, he played for the Hornets. And the Hornets get my guy's fee and multiple second-round picks. It was at this point when we stopped caring how many second-round picks they were. Just put multiple. There's more than one. But the Blazers get Thybulle. Obviously, after seeing Josh Hart go to New York this morning or late last night.
Yeah, a far cheaper version of Josh Hart than Josh Hart. Matisse Thybulle is a more inexpensive contract that they can keep around as a defensive guy. He is obviously an incredible defensive player.
Yeah.
Will they give him a whirl in their rotation to play beside Damian Lillard? Are they going to do something else, as in trade one of their bigger pieces like Simons or Nurkic before the deadline? Still TBD on that one. I don't really get this from the Hornets' perspective, giving up on Jalen McDaniels for, I know he's your guy, Svi and second-round picks, but just giving up on him. I know he's been in the league now 4 years. I just don't really get it. Maybe they just don't want to give him his next contract. I suppose that's it.
The Hornets are good at drafting a lot of guys, keeping them around for a couple of years, and then just giving up on them because they turned out they weren't very good.
Yeah.
Not saying he isn't, but like Noah Vonleh comes to mind, and other lottery picks that they've taken before. Like,
Yeah, well, they're in a bad spot, and they're paying guys a lot of money, so it's time to get off the schneid there. Just get off money, really.
That's it. What they're doing, they're getting off money. They don't want to pay McDaniels. I suppose he's taken a little bit of a step back this year and hasn't really established himself in any sort of way. So, I mean, bring in a couple of second-round picks. Who knows? Next trade deadline, maybe you can get you a rotation player for those second-round picks. This is fine, though, for the Blazers. It's basically a Josh Hart replacement, and he's going to do the same things as Josh Hart. He doesn't rebound as much, but he gets more steals, gets more deflections. They're both transition guys, and they're both going to be wide open for three-point shots. Can they knock him down? I guess we will see, but should be getting some tasty looks playing alongside Lillard and Simons there. So his shooting is not as big of an issue as it necessarily needs to be. Not necessarily a playoff kind of player, but good for the regular season. And right now the Blazers are just trying to make it into the play-in tournament, so it works.
And when we were looking at this 3-team deal and when it came down, we thought, Furkan Korkmaz and his trade request is going to sneak in here.
Come on, Furk.
We had a Furkan Korkmaz trade request. Has not been fulfilled. I can't even get over that we had a Thomas Bryant trade request.
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done with you, Lakers. Didn't pass me the ball. That was fulfilled. There's just 2 trade requests from guys, deeper in the rotations. Get him the Furk out of there. He wants to go somewhere else.
Looks like we got a signal here from JC. He did a motion. He did a motion for a trade.
What's the
Korkmaz
motion?
has been traded?
I think we got Gary Payton II heading back to the Warriors, and they're sending 5 seconds on picks.
Oh my God! What? This
To
is
the
the
Blazers.
any guy can be had here for 5 second-round picks. 5 second-round picks is the new lottery-protected first-round pick.
Yes, it is.
That's what it
It
is.
is.
That's all it is. Oh my God. Okay.
Kevin Knox wasn't good enough. He needed a Gary Payton.
Oh, he's going to the Blazers. Kevin Knox is part of this, going to the
Okay.
Blazers as
There
well.
you go. Okay, rerouted up there. Oh my goodness.
GP, get
So
that.
hold on. The Blazers today, or whatever, in the last 12 hours, they got Cam Reddish and Kevin Knox
In exchange for Josh Hart.
and Gary Payton II.
Well, and they got
Gary-
Thybulle as well.
Well, yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
true. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, so back to the Warriors. Help out.
Yeah.
Just help out on the defensive end. They were a little worried about that, obviously. The guy can guard anybody.
Freaking loved him when he was there for
Yeah.
sure. So GP2 back in Golden State.
They're worried about their defense. I get it. So that'll help out. The Jermichael Green experiment hasn't gone incredibly well. So he can help.
Let's go to the Suns Thunder. You knew the Thunder were going to make a trade. You knew they were at least getting a pick. Come on. Suns get Darius Baisley. Thunder get Dario Saric and just one second-round pick. They're like, we don't need to be greedy. We've got a million of these. Any thoughts on this one at all, TK?
This one I'm a little confused by because I thought Dario Saric was playing pretty well for the Phoenix Suns. I'll be honest with you.
Please.
I'm not familiar with Dario Saric's contract status heading into today, so I assume this is somehow a money move.
Sure.
But to me, Saric would be more valuable going forward for this season for a team that's seriously trying to win a championship, more valuable to me than Darius Baisley would be. I think that Saric would be a bigger piece for the Suns than Baisley is going to be. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I can look
He's
into
an
his-
expiring.
Yeah, $9 million expiring.
They wanted to get something then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. They got Baisley. We'll see if he does anything.
Yeah, he's a younger, more athletic player. I guess they lost some of that when they traded Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. So I guess they just want more athleticism. Dario's, I mean, he can guard a lot of guys, but I guess they just want to get a little bit more younger and athletic. They still do have Jock Landale and Bismack Biyombo to guard backup bigs. So Saric was sort of out there. But yeah, he was part of the rotation. But yeah, I guess I think Chris Paul has a relationship with Darius Baisley. Going back to OKC.
Weird.
Yeah, so they can work together coming off the bench. I'm sure he likes him. I mean, he does work hard, and he's just, again, it's the athleticism I think that the Suns are looking to get off their bench.
Well, I had forgotten about this. I said the Thunder only got 1 second-round pick in that move, but they did get 2 second-round picks in another move here today. The Celtics getting Mike Muscala, Magic Mike, going to Boston. I'm really trying to push that, by the way. And the Thunder getting Justin Jackson, who is not pictured there. That's Andrew Schlecht. He's just very bummed out that Mike Muscala is leaving OKC. And 2 second-round picks. So Mike, the Moose, going to Boston for Justin Jackson and 2 second-round picks.
Schleck should be happy.
Why?
The Moose could win a championship. It wasn't going to happen in OKC.
Right.
I think he could play in the postseason for the Celtics, spot minutes, but it's Robert Williams insurance. Robert Williams not always healthy. And even if Robert Williams is healthy, he can open up their offense a bit because the guy can shoot. Mm-hmm. Moose can shoot 39% from 3 this season. Over 10 seasons, he's shown that he can shoot. And like in the playoffs last year, Daniel Tice played for the Celtics. He got minutes. It's insurance as a backup big. I think it's a nice move. They were in the Jakob Poeltl sweepstakes that the Raptors paid high on. The Celtics said, no, we're not giving up a first-round pick, a top 6 protected pick. The Raptors got to be doing something, right? Is there a signal? Is there a Raptor signal happening here? Nope, not seeing one. They haven't done it yet. It's going to happen. 5 minutes on the clock. But I like the Moose. I like the Moose pickup for the Celtics.
Trey?
You like Moose?
I don't really have many Mike Muscala thoughts.
Oh,
I don't think
bad.
he's going to play that much. Maybe he plays more than Luke Cornett.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Luke Cornett's a 33% shooter. Mike Muscala's a 39% shooter. That fits in more with what the Celtics are going to do. But if they're having to play Mike Muscala in the playoffs, things have gone poorly for the Celtics.
I think it's just a different look. I think maybe yesterday after Luke Cornett tried his Cornett defense twice on the same possession.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where
Yep.
he jumped twice in the lane to stop Joel Embiid from shooting a three. I think maybe the Celtics said, we're done. We're done with this. He's still on the team. It's just a weird defense. Why are you jumping twice? You can go close out instead. It's very weird. It's just weird to see a man jump like that.
Hawks Rockets trade Justin Holiday, Frank Kaminsky. There's another big white guy going to Houston. Hawks getting Bruno Fernando.
Oh, okay, now we're getting into
who they
the
used
silly
to
trades.
talk about, or sorry, used to have. I was thinking if we don't talk about Bruno. He used to be on their team, so he's back in Atlanta. And Garrison Matthews, he's also coming. Yeah, this is when you get into the true sicko shit.
Yeah, now we're getting a little crazy.
Real fire takes about Holiday and Frank the Tank going to Houston for Bruno and Garrison Matthews.
Well, it's really a shame that Bruno Fernando isn't 7 feet tall because, as you just said, we don't talk about Bruno. Mm-hmm. The great line in that song is 7-foot frame with rats upon his back.
How tall is Bruno? He's a big guy.
6'9". You can pretend
I've
he's
seen him in
7
person.
feet.
He's huge.
Yeah, why isn't a team made a video with him? Come on, the Hawks social media team. Let's get on it.
All right.
You want to get sicko? I mean, it's a good move. Good move for the Hawks.
Hey, all these second-round picks getting thrown around today. Once upon a time, Bruno Fernando was a second-round pick. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He was the 34th pick for the Hawks back in the day, a couple years ago.
High second-round pick.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You have nothing to add to this one, I assume. You had nothing on the Moose. Why would you have anything on these guys?
Gary Bird. Playing for a bird team.
Hawks, okay. That's a good addition.
Perfect place.
All right, and then final one, I think, right now, Lakers Magic. Lakers got Mo Bamba. Kevin O'Connor must be ecstatic. Ooh, we need a little tasty guitar lick there. Bamba's free, and he's teaming up with LeBron and AD and Magic. This is definitely wrong, but you know what we're trying to say here. The Magic get Patrick Beverley. The Lakers get Bamba and a second-round draft pick.
Good get, I actually think, for the Lakers to take a risk on Bamba. Who knows if he's going to be able to play. He'll be able to play in the regular season, I think. He can shoot a three, and he's more of a defensive presence than Thomas Bryant was. So if we're talking about backup centers, the Lakers are prioritizing somebody who's going to play defense over somebody who's just a bucket in Thomas Bryant. So younger as well. So I think this is actually pretty solid for the Lakers to be able to grab Bamba. I assume Patrick Beverley will be a buyout, and some team will take a chance on Patrick Beverley for sure for the last couple of months of the season going into the playoffs. I think somebody will take a chance.
Yeah, they're building a defensive mentality around LeBron, AD, and D'Angelo Russell by getting Bamba, Jared Vanderbilt, and also Davon Reed as well today. So just the gritty guys, which makes sense. Around D'Angelo Russell, and then they have options. Like if D'Angelo Russell isn't working, you go to somebody else like a Davon Reed and just let the offense be run by LeBron and AD.
Patrick Beverley could be a buyout candidate here, I assume, with Orlando.
Yep, he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking at something else.
Yeah,
I forgot
course.
about another trade.
Yeah, the old Devontae.
That's right. Pelicans traded Devontae Graham and 4 second-round picks to San Antonio for Josh Richardson.
The Spurs just want your money. It makes sense. It makes sense for them. They're way below the cap with everything they've done over the last couple of years by trading DeJounte Murray, Derek White. And so they'll take Devontae Graham's long-term money. And the Pels, who clearly lost out on the OG Anunoby sweepstakes if they're trading for Josh Richardson.
Did everybody?
you
It's
sound
3 o'clock.
disappointed.
I'm very disappointed because I'm starting to think the Raptors didn't do anything.
The off season is there, but who knows? Who knows? We're waiting. I'm looking around the room, waiting for a signal to happen for OG Anunoby. But yeah, I do think the Pels just said we'll get somebody in here who doesn't have long-term money. I mean, they're saving money because Devontae Graham was signed long-term. And he hasn't produced like I thought he would after he was a Hornet.
Yeah, he's a tradable piece, certainly, for the Pelicans. And they just need a little bit of depth on the wing, I think, and with the emergence of Jose Alvarado, him and Devontae Graham being there at the same time, Alvarado's entrenched for the Pelicans ahead of Graham. So moving off his money, getting a player who might be a little bit useful off the bench as a 9th or 10th guy in Josh Richardson, sure.
All right, I think that's it right now. We have hit the buzzer here for the trade deadline day. Again, trades can come in. Shams and Woj can let us know. But, again, as of 3:01, the Raptors didn't trade anybody in OG and Van Vliet or Gary Trent Jr. John Collins is still on the Atlanta Hawks.
It's just because
Bogdanovich is still in the Pistons, I guess.
It's because
Yes.
Raptors Masai Ujiri's on a BlackBerry. The messages aren't coming. They're not coming through. He probably got a good deal, and he just doesn't know about it.
I guess it's very, very possible.
Come on, Bobby.
From what I can tell, 2 teams didn't make a deal today.
Miami Heat?
Maybe I heard a lie.
Well, I don't think the Heat have they?
Didn't the Heat just make a move?
They made the Dwayne Dedman, but
the Dedman trade.
Okay,
Yeah. That's
right.
what it was.
Okay, so they did. You're right. So who didn't?
Raps.
Raptors.
Oh, they made the
Raptors
Jakob.
made
They
him.
made the Jakob.
You'll get there.
Oh, you want us to guess?
Bulls. Chicago Bulls.
Celtics got the
Celtics made
moves.
moves. Mike Muscala. The Bulls and the Cavs. The Cavs, of course, traded for Donovan Mitchell
Yep.
in the offseason. Bulls just said, we're good. We're good. Sure, we've been under 500 for a year. But we're good.
Yeah, a lot of smoke was going around that the Knicks were putting together a package for Zach LaVine.
Not good enough, I guess. Not a good enough package. They said 5 second-round picks. No, we're going to need an actual player here. And New York said no thanks.
I believe a potential deal I saw being thrown around was Fournier, Rose, Obi Toppin, Grimes, and then 3 first-round picks. Maybe even some second-round picks for Zach LaVine. Have no idea if that's true or not, but that was being chucked around on Twitter. But I guess not. Not enough for the Bulls to move off Zach LaVine. And, yeah, the Raptors keeping everybody here is fascinating. It really is fascinating. And I'm a little shocked if a Nuggets or a Grizzlies or whoever are going to regret maybe not going a little more or being a little more aggressive for an OG and an Obi. We'll see.
Yeah, and,
who knows what it was taking?
Yeah, who knows and what the Warriors were rumored to be throwing out there. The Warriors, I think you got to be pretty happy if you're Steph. They did make a move to try and win now by getting rid of James Wiseman. They gave up on a number 2 pick, and they go get Gary Payton II, so they got to be pretty happy with that. Yeah, we got a full 4 minutes after the bell.
How long do we stick around here?
Oh yeah, we're sticking.
What was your favorite? Obviously, remove Kevin Durant from the mix here. But of all these ones that we've gone over on this podcast, and I know we'll do on tomorrow's Drop podcast when I'm sure we do winners and losers, but what was your favorite piece that a team acquired here? From all of these sort of averaged to let's be honest, below average guys.
I like the question because I like how you're biding some time here. Just waiting for a big trade to come in.
And I like how you are complimenting me on the question to waste and
Also
bite
the
even
tap
more.
dance,
Well, I really like how you complimented me on my compliment.
All right.
Trey had an answer.
I have an answer. Thomas Bryant, I think.
Thomas, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he's not an incredible player, but I think with the Western Conference getting stronger over the trade deadline, the Mavericks likely improved. The Suns certainly improved. Denver was sitting at the top of the Western Conference, having not done anything. So I think addressing an area of need, backup big behind Jokic, was something that they've needed. They got a decent backup center in Thomas Bryant, so I think that's going to help them for maintaining their seeding in the playoff.
Yeah, I'm just confused by the Bones Highland move. They obviously
I think
didn't
he pissed
care
off
for
Michael
him.
Malone.
Yeah,
He got benched at one point and was not happy leaving the court, so I think he was in the doghouse at that point. And the Nuggets needed to make a move, and there's not a lot else that you're going to be able to trade besides Bones Highland. If it's a combination of him being in the doghouse and being a little bit expendable, you can see why. 2 second-round picks, though, not an incredible return.
Yeah, that's not the Thomas Bryant move. That's just for 2 second-round picks, and it's a thin bench, of course. Thomas Bryant is solid. But their bench moving forward now, it's Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Vlatko Čančar, Christian Brown, and Thomas Bryant. So they're just thin at the backup guard spot. So I was thinking that something else would be happening because Bones Highland can score. And yeah, they didn't like his shot selection. That's why he was benched. I know he goes for his a lot. But who are their backup guards? I mean, they don't really have ball handlers. Jamal's going to be playing a lot. So that's all I was thinking about there. Who are the backup guards, really?
In looking at all the deals here today, again, this sort of smaller batch of deals, and looking at all the players, and then trying to figure out, well, which of these teams are even playoff teams, and then who will, like, help the most in the postseason, I guess it has to be Jae Crowder, maybe a Luke Kennard in Memphis, maybe Eric Gordon, or Bones to some extent coming off a bench and like winning them a quarter or a half in a playoff game.
Right.
Because otherwise, a lot of these teams either just not even Gary Payton II, I guess, for sure.
Yeah, he can
we've
help.
seen him do it before, so why couldn't he do it again with Golden State? Those are like the 3 or 4 names probably, right?
Yeah, and I think now looking at it, Denver could be the spot for a Patrick Beverley buyout. Just to have him there.
Yep.
If they do release him with the Orlando Magic, but yeah, the Lakers got some things to figure out there. Mo Bamba in the rotation now. They got a bunch of guys.
Their depth is a lot better,
Yeah.
I would say. But I mean, this is true of literally every team. It comes down to your stars. Your stars have to be healthy, and your stars have to play well. Buyout market is going to be interesting though, because a lot of these guys are going to get bought out. Like Danny Green, probably not a long-term Houston Rocket. That's a guy that could help somewhere. Reggie Jackson went to Charlotte, right? They don't necessarily need him. Maybe he's another Denver Nuggets target going forward. There's going to be some names we know that are available.
John Wall with the Rockets.
Exactly. There's going to be names that we know that are available for buyout guys, which makes it more interesting once we're talking about that part of the season.
Names we know.
Names we know.
Pierre points out a good one too. Happened obviously a little prior to today's podcast here, or this one. Josh Hart getting reunited with Jalen Brunson.
Oh, that's
a Tibbs guy. We already talked about it on the morning podcast, but
that was
nice little move there too.
Yeah, my favorite clip. Josh heartwarming, no doubt about it. Go watch that clip. Jalen Brunson was so excited, as you said. I've never seen him pumped like that. He was so pumped. I liked his Villanova jacket. I liked every part of that clip, even if it was staged. It wasn't staged, but it could have been staged, and I still would have liked it. Well, it just felt so. Why was that person filming? I guess they were just filming Jalen Brunson walking around. That's why it felt a little staged, right?
We have a tweet here from Woj regarding the Raptors. The Raptors never turned out to be sellers. Adding Spurs center Jakob Poeltl on deadline day. They'll have to make some harder decisions in the offseason, but Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster tested and learned more about the value of several players.
It wasn't good
this
enough.
was like a dry run.
Oh, they got to make a move in the offseason. They have to. If they didn't make one right now, because they traded a first-round pick for Jakob Poeltl that's only top 6 protected. So that pick could convey next year. It's a 2024 pick.
Right.
So if the Raptors were as good as they are next year as they are now, you would be giving up a top 10 pick potentially for Jakob Poeltl to be a bad team. That makes no sense. Like Jakob Poeltl is, that's where they drafted him. They drafted him at 9. You could get a far cheaper version of Jakob Poeltl if you just drafted at 9. I mean, Jakob Poeltl, they're going to re-sign him to a big deal. You could just go draft a Jakob Poeltl for half the price. They're going to make another move. They have to make another move to get better.
Are there going to be sign-in trades involved in these moves? Because that's the other part. Van Vliet, Gary Trent Jr. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Right.
Or are they just straight up leaving?
The Van Vliet question is a big one.
Mm-hmm. All right, shall we call it there?
There's going to be a move that comes down.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
If the Bulls are not moving Zach LaVine, if the Raptors aren't moving any of their guys...
Hold on a sec. The Raptors never turned out to be sellers. This is just a fun conversation they were having.
I mean, it's depressing. It's just...
let me read that again. They just never turned out to be sellers, as in they're just faking teams out?
No, I think the last part makes it sound like they took calls, didn't like what the packages they were getting for some of their guys, and said, if that's all you're offering us, we'll just be bad for the rest of the year and then try and win the lottery, get a high lottery pick, and it's fine. Just come back to us in the summer, and we're going to make you pay for more for any of these guys. That's probably, I guess, what we're getting at here.
Well, the price going to go up? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get...
the opposite.
Well, they have to do something. That's I don't know. It just seems like a slightly contradictory statement when you put it that way. But anyway.
The Raptors said, put the word out. We're looking for 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby. Everybody heard the report and said, there's no way you're getting 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby. Turns out they weren't getting 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby, so roll it over into the summer. You don't have to make a deal, right? Like, the Nuggets didn't have to trade Bones Hyland. Mm-hmm. Maybe they shouldn't have. Maybe this will be the smart move for the Raptors. Masai says play-in's not a goal that you should have. But the Raptors... The goal this year is the play-in tournament, I do believe, at this point. It's going to be a battle. Going to be a battle for the 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds in the Eastern Conference.
With who? The Bulls and the Wizards.
The Bulls, the Wizards, the Hawks. The Raptors. Who wants to maybe take 1 game off the Celtics in the first round?
It'd be nice to have that gate money, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, a beautiful gate. Just a beautiful.
All right, I think we can call it there. Look, if anything crazy happens after the deadline buzzer here, we'll jump on and talk about it. It's been a long day in the Classic Factory. Thanks, everybody, for joining us live. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review if you're listening to these podcasts. The plan is to be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, drop podcasts, doing a big sort of roundup here. Very likely our winners and losers from the last couple days here of the trade deadline, and maybe have some more time to think about these. Maybe we'll feel differently about the Raps not trading. You know, you gotta sit with it sometimes. You gotta say, in Masai we trust.
You can say that.
Huh?
I can say it too. You want to say it together?
All right.
In Masai we trust.
Hey, Clipper Bros, you got yourselves a Bones and an EG.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
We're going crazy.
You're great.
You got yourself a Bones.
You got a line?
And an egg.
You got a line for us? Hey, you.
What are you, Kermit?
That's taking
I'm sipping tea.
I'm over deadline day. I get around 2 o'clock. It hit like an hour ago. Excruciating headache.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have had
Focus.
6 coffees.
I had too many coffees.
This man was mainlining caffeine.
Jerome was saying it every single time you had. Is that more caffeine?
My
More
third coffee,
caffeine.
by the way, was
More
decaffeinated, actually. It was just for the smell and the warmth. But then I did have a Coke.
Yeah, but that was for a bit. That was for
It was for a bit. You're going to see it later. I'm going to do my best Russ Cole impersonation.
Yeah. Now that's a drink. You call that a drink? This is a drink.
Look at America. That's America right there in the palm of his hands.
My favorite part is
disgusting.
that they put a lid on it, and it's got an open hole.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm manhandling both of these, trying to walk out to the car.
Oh,
Balance on my neck.
Excuse me, diabetes coming through. Excuse me.
I'm driving. I got one in the crotch. I got another one like this. I'm like having to stop one on the car. Slowly turning down the street.
Oh yeah. And here's the crazy part for all our international viewers and Canadians. That's a small.
This is a Dixie cup here. They just give you this for water. Like, yeah, whatever, man.
I can barely lift this up. My wrists are so weak. This is so heavy.
Where did you go?
It's like 20 pounds.
What did you put? What liquid did you put in there? DC?
Decaf.
Diet Coke?
Yeah.
This was actually pure gasoline. 1 gallon of gas.
That is crazy, man.
I just put electricity in mine.
All right. Okay. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning from the Classic Factory. Brace the day, people.